Cool. Fantastic. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 10th of December. I'm going to be covering the latest AI news and updates going on at the moment. We are still waiting for the new version of ChatGPT. It looks like it will be coming out on Thursday. Generally, OpenAI do their releases, they do their big conferences on a Thursday. So looks like they are sticking to that schedule and not panicking, which I think is important because they've been in code red since last week, and some people were expecting them to panic release something just to get it out the door. We're going to look at some of the speculation about what 5.2 is. We're also going to look at ChatGPT's new image model, which they have apparently been working on, and people have found it being tested in public. But first, I want to talk about McDonald's because McDonald's have been, according to The Independent, absolutely muck-skewered for creepy and depressing AI-generated Christmas ad. So they put out a Christmas ad, like Coca-Cola have been doing for the last couple of years. They put it on YouTube, and everyone hated it. The comments got turned off pretty quickly because people were so angry with McDonald's. And then very shortly afterwards, they took the video down. Now, I actually downloaded the video, so I have a copy of the video because I thought something like this might happen. So I went ahead and grabbed it. So I'll have a look at it in a moment. I will also post it up in the newsletter so you can get access to it and have a watch yourself. It's pretty bad. It's not a good advert. It's kind of crappy looking AI, and I can see why people get annoyed, but it's talking to a large issue here of the use of AI in creative fields, and obviously taking jobs, removing work from actors, reducing the amount of film crew that are required to get these shots, all things that reduce the cost of creating the video. And that is precisely why this is being done. This is about cost. This is about saving money. Let's not pussyfoot around that. This is primarily about McDonald's making more money by spending less. So let's have a quick look at this independent coverage. Then I'll scan through the video, and then I wanted to talk more generally about the use of AI in creative fields. It's not something I'm particularly supportive of. I think it's one of the more grim and gross uses of artificial intelligence, which is why pretty much all of my content is personally focused on personal productivity, professional productivity, using AI in your daily life to start businesses and to become more efficient. It's not so much focused on the creative fields. So you've probably noticed I don't talk that much about video, imagery, or audio in my lives or in any of my content. This is why. I think there are better uses. So let's jump into this. So McDonald's absolutely McSkewered for creepy and depressing AI generated Christmas ads. There we go. I knew that would autoplay. Oh, so they actually have it on the Independent. Okay, so this is the problem with when you release something and then you want to delete it from the internet. It's really hard to do. So the Independent have a copy, and you can watch it all on their website. I have a copy. Many other people will have a copy. So you cannot just delete something that you're embarrassed about anymore. It doesn't work. So, McDonald's in the Netherlands has been skewered online over its 2025 Christmas commercial, which was created entirely by artificial intelligence. So, following on from companies like Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola have now done 2 years worth of AI adverts. People don't really like them, but they did another one this year. McDonald's thought, yeah, let's jump in on that, and let's use artificial intelligence. Now, we need to put this in the context of a company like Coca-Cola, a company like McDonald's. They're making a lot of different Christmas adverts. This specifically is one Christmas advert for the Netherlands. They're making different Christmas adverts all over the world. I don't know how many, maybe 100. One of them is using artificial intelligence, and it was created by a partnership between the US agency TBWA and the production company The Sweet Shop. That's a lot like The Sweatshop. Okay, so it features several AI-generated people and families all experiencing mishaps in the lead up to Christmas, including presents falling off car roofs, exploding Christmas trees, and carol singers performing in blustery, icy conditions. So let me quickly flick through it. You should be able to see it on the screen. So you can see there's a lot of physical comedy. This guy getting blown out of his window. There's somebody, there we go, people falling over. Someone falling off a tree. There's a cat at one point which looks very AI. The problem with physical comedy in particular is that it's physical. It requires a certain amount of physicality to sell the illusion. Here we go. Yeah, that cat in particular. The the physics and the gravity of that fall don't work. It does not look real. The cat doesn't look real. The collapse of the tree doesn't look real. And trying to do physical comedy is hard when you are not using physical objects. It's kind of in the name, but for some reason that's what they've gone with. And so the whole thing doesn't quite land. For the physical comedy to work, it kind of needs to be humans. So the whole thing for me falls flat. I think as a creative exercise, doesn't work very well, which is a shame because I think AI can be used in production, and it is being used in production. This is the thing that people aren't talking about. It is 100% being put into workflows for video games, for film, for photography, for adverts like this, and it will continue to be used quite extensively. It needs to still be used well, though. It needs to be used to produce something that is, at the end of the day, a good advert. I don't think this succeeds because it lacks that physicality. This is beside the ethical and the moral issues of using AI in the creative industry. But as a whole, I can see why people saw this advert and they're like, it's a bit crap. Because I agree, it does not look very good. So I will post this in the newsletters. You can watch it yourself. And make your own opinions of the artistic merit of it. Again, aside from the moral and the ethical, that is something else we can talk about. But as a whole, the advert itself is whatever. But remember that this is going to be one of hundreds of adverts that McDonald's put out for Christmas. What I imagine, well, this is maybe giving them too much credit, but it could be a test. Basically, hey, we're going to do 50 different global Christmas campaigns this year. Let's try one with AI. Let's see what happens. Let's see how much that will cost us and what the reaction will be. And the other 49 will be unaffected. Or, more cynically, it might be, hey, if we do one with AI, it's going to get a lot of attention. Positive or negative, people are going to be interested in it. They are going to be talking about us. And then you have there's no such thing as bad publicity. I don't know if that's what they're trying to do here. The fact that they've now taken it down would suggest not. But what it has done is triggered people to make their own versions of the Christmas ad, human-made versions of the Christmas ad, to show McDonald's, hey, this is much better than what you created. So they've kind of got some user-generated content off the back of it. Again, I don't know if they've thought it through that much. Maybe that's just me being cynical, but they are in the news. People are talking about McDonald's. So this is just an assessment. The Independent goes through it all, and they've got comments off the YouTube video. The comments were taken down because people were very angry. Not even considering the AI slop, the messaging of this ad is literally F Christmas, F your family, eat McDonald's instead. It kind of is, yeah. A soulless AI advertisement to promote your slop and to denigrate the Christmas time seems a bit too on the nose and just slightly demonic. AI didn't make this film. Oh, okay, that's from. Let's talk about this. So the AI company behind it, called the Sweet Shop, not the Sweatshop, the Sweet Shop, they came out and said, "Oh, actually, we worked really hard on this," which has led to more people teasing them and saying, "What the hell are you talking about? You just typed in some prompts." But the Sweet Shop put out I haven't got it here, but they put out a whole statement talking about their pipeline and their workflow and all the steps that they had to go through and how it's actually like making a real movie. And the response to that was, as you could imagine, not very positive. So they say, AI didn't make this film, we did. The Sweet Shop director, Melanie Bridge, said, yeah. And one social media user replied, "It genuinely pains me when reading about AI and people use phrase like writing AI prompts like it's something to be proud of artistically. I cannot believe our advancement of society is the plague of AI," wrote another. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm not particularly pro using artificial intelligence in creative endeavors. I think that AI is best used in work that we don't want to do ourselves. I think AI is fantastic for automating the mundane and taking us to a place where we have more free time for creative endeavors. So we have more time to write, we have more time to sing and create music and to create film and to create. However, the economics of the situation are the creative industry is an industry. and these tools are going to be used to produce lower cost product, like adverts in this case, in order to make more money. So I think we have to separate how we use AI specifically and how the industry uses AI. So I'm a big fan of using AI to free up my time. I work a couple of hours a day basically, and then AI does an awful lot more of it, and my business runs off the back of that. And to improve our lives and to give ourselves more time for what is truly human. That can be connecting with people, spending time with our family, creating art, whatever, rather than using AI to replace human creativity and to replace the parts of the human experience that are genuinely positive. I think that is a bad use of AI. This is personal. But I think it is important that we all work out for ourselves what parts of AI we're interested in and what parts we are not interested in, because it is not a monolith. And so I get accused of being an AI guy and supporting, AI music that's destroying the music industry and AI video that's destroying Hollywood and stuff. No, not me personally. Some people want to support all of that stuff, but not me personally. And it's important that we all work out what uses of AI we believe are valuable and what uses of AI we believe are not valuable. I actually wanted to shout out this guy because he's fantastic. So Sergio. So Sergio is over on Instagram primarily, and he's a film director and producer, and he has these amazing skits where he is I'll pull one up for you, but go and watch them yourselves. So it's him acting as a casting agent, talking to AI actors and trying to get them to read their sides and to audition them for certain roles. And the AI actors are comically bad. So it's well worth watching, and I will put a link. I'm not going to start watching now, but I will put a link in the newsletter because they're fantastic. And I agree with him on replacing actors with AI is a bit gross. That is not a very beneficial use of artificial intelligence, but that does not necessarily mean, this is me speaking, not Sergio, that we need to throw out all uses of AI. Life is more complex. Life has more grey areas. So we use AI in the valuable uses for automating our work, for getting rid of the mundane, and then we have more time to work on the human. I'm going to hop over to some comments. If any. Good morning, everybody. I don't think the cat clip is that bad, says X. So for me, it's the kind of physics of it doesn't come together. And when you watch the whole advert all the way through, because it's such short clips, it's like 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Once a handful of those clips don't really land because of the lack of physicality, the lack of kind of gravity, like literally gravity in the scene, because my brain's already like, oh, that looks a bit weird. Oh, that looks weird. Oh, that's not quite right. By the time it gets to the cat, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is not very well implemented. Now, of course, the AI video is going to get better. That is the other kind of unspoken element here. Is that lots of people are dumping on it, saying, ha, it looks crap. Remember Will Smith eating spaghetti. Will Smith eating spaghetti is probably the best benchmark that we have for video, because a couple of years ago, actually, no, I'm not opening Facebook, don't be silly. A couple of years ago, it was let's see if I can get it. Yeah, it was this is 2023, this monstrosity on the left hand side, where, I mean, he looks demonic, and thankfully we don't have the sound on, but it's like it's disgusting. So this is Will Smith eating spaghetti in 2023. This is Will Smith using the new Kling 2.6 model in 2025. And when was this? This was last week. So this is a 2-year gap. We need to remember that these technologies are not static. So anything that we laugh at now will probably be an awful lot better in a year or so. So we can laugh at Will Smith eating spaghetti from 2 years ago, but we have to look at Will Smith eating spaghetti now and remember that this stuff is moving very, very fast. Okay. let's hop over to, so yesterday on the live, somebody asked me about Copilot. They said, why don't you talk about Copilot? Why do you ever use Copilot? And I was like, not really. So Copilot is Microsoft's artificial intelligence. It sits inside of their ecosystem of products. So Microsoft have 365, oh God, the names are terrible, 365 Microsoft Copilot or 365 Office Copilot, which sits inside your enterprise. And Copilot is both the central AI that powers everything and the name of the individual copilots that are implemented inside of the software. So PowerPoint has a copilot, Excel has a copilot, etc., etc. It's quite confusing. There's also different levels. So if you just use Copilot like on your phone, that is going to be like a ChatGPT, basically. It's a chatbot called Copilot. And then they have another level, which is the 365 Copilot, which is the one that you need to be an organization, then you pay for it on top of your 365 license. It's a mess. It's a huge mess. I just realized I have something on my camera. Well, that's no good. And so somebody asked in the live, well, why don't you talk about Copilot? The main reason is it's not very good. So when I do go and work with Microsoft organizations that use Microsoft as their ecosystem, none of them like using AI because Copilot is not good. What Copilot is built on ChatGPT, because remember, Microsoft own about 27% of OpenAI, and they were early funders and they work together collaboratively. It is ChatGPT under the hood, but then Microsoft have layered on additional guardrails, additional safeties. They've connected it to their own applications and stuff, and the actual implementation of all of that isn't good. And there's no two ways around that. It's like a stunted ChatGPT. They've recently added Claude, but when I tested it again, it was no better. It still feels like using AI from multiple years ago. It feels like using ChatGPT 3 or something like that. So I thought I was being mean about Microsoft, but I read this article yesterday, a day after the live, basically saying Microsoft has a problem. Nobody wants to buy or use its shoddy AI products as Google's AI growth begins to outpace Copilot products. So basically, I was already dumping on Microsoft, and apparently in the last week, Microsoft have told their sales division, the people who are selling the AI products, that they can halve their sales targets. And the reason for this is supposedly there's no demand. Organizations are not like banging on the door saying, please integrate AI into our Microsoft accounts. Quite the opposite. There is no demand. So it appears that the market knows this is a weak product and is not interested in it. So where it is. A recent report from The Information detailed how Microsoft's internal AI efforts are going awry, with cut forecasts and sales goals for its Azure AI products across the board. The Information said that Microsoft salespeople are struggling to meet goals, owing to a complete lack of demand. Microsoft denied the report, but it can't deny market share growth trends, all of which point to Google Gemini surging ahead. So Google offer the alternative ecosystem for your business. So you could use a Microsoft ecosystem where you're using Outlook for your email, you are using Google Drive, you're using Google Docs, etc. Microsoft. You're using Microsoft OneDrive and Microsoft Excel and all of the other products. So that's one ecosystem you can use. Or you can use Google. So Google Workspaces, which means your email is run by Gmail. It's not at gmail.com, but it is your company domain, but under the hood it's Gmail. You're using Google Drive, you're using all of their products as well. So these are two different ecosystems. There are others, but these are two of the largest. Google has Gemini, and Google is implementing their AI very well into their products, whereas Microsoft is not. Now, moving your company from one ecosystem to another is really difficult, incredibly difficult. And we're talking about, let's say you have 100 employees and you're moving over all their email addresses, all of their documents, etc. That's a huge task. Nobody wants to do that. So this doesn't necessarily mean people are going to leave Microsoft to go to Google because of AI. However, Microsoft need to remain competitive because people are going to start getting very annoyed otherwise. So is Microsoft even on this? This is first page, AI chatbot usage chart. So Google Gemini is rising very, very quickly. It is the new entrant, basically. Obviously, they've been around for a few years, but they are now the threat to OpenAI and the threat to ChatGPT. Microsoft don't even have their own artificial intelligence. They have something called MAI, and it has a cute little avatar that looks a bit like Clippy, but is a kind of a blob. But it hasn't really been. They're not in the game. They don't produce their own models yet. So they've been using ChatGPT, but a stunted version. And unfortunately, this means that people do not want to use their AI. And Google are pushing out ahead. And this is going to have an impact down the line with enterprise and business deployment of IT infrastructure as a whole, not just AI, but the whole ecosystem. So I thought I'll put this in the newsletter tomorrow because it kind of backs up what I was saying about Copilot not being very good. That was entirely anecdotal from me and people I talk to who use it. But apparently they're having real problems selling it because there is no demand. So hopefully they can get in the game because we like competition. We want competition. Frank is saying most organizations using MS Copilot don't use the Copilot notebooks function to help with their usage. Also, Google's products are native and Microsoft are building on other people's products. Yeah. So Microsoft are currently, because they don't have their own frontier model, they do, but it's not released. It's called My. They are building on top of ChatGPT and they're building on top of Claude's, Anthropic's Claude. So they've added in the ability to use that. It is not their own AI. I mean, arguably, they own 27% of OpenAI, ChatGPT. But it's still, they're one of the large companies that does not have their own large language model. So they and Apple are kind of looking a bit shaky moving forward. Thank you, Frank. I'm going to check some questions and then I'm going to talk about ChatGPT 5.2, which again is not quite out yet. Grasshopper says, that's why I left Office 365 and Windows, and don't get me started on Recall. I forgot about Recall. Yeah, poor Microsoft. They haven't had a very smooth couple of years with artificial intelligence. Okay, so that's interesting. So we have someone in chat saying, I actually left the Microsoft ecosystem, so because of this. I forgot about Recall entirely. Any credible platform learn pro vibe coding? So this is not a platform for doing vibe coding, but for learning. For doing Cursor is really good. That's why I use personally. Lovable is great if you've never done any coding before. If you've never vibe coded, then start with Lovable, but then eventually you might want to look into Cursor. In terms of learning though, I would check out Marcin's. It's my friend Marcin. He runs a school. This is it. I'm not logged in here, but I'm in this group and it's a very active group called AI Builders. And it is specifically, I think he has a 21-day challenge to help you get your first app built. And then it's a very supportive community with people who are actually building, which is fantastic. So I highly recommend joining that. That's 500 members. This is not free. It's $50 a month, but it is a very active and very supportive community. I'm in there too. I end up answering questions in there. I was in there yesterday talking about SEO in Lovable. So Marcin needs to pay me. I'm moderating for him. I also have my own community, which is free. So, I'm live in that community right now. This is less specific for vibe coding, but I do talk about vibe coding. I also have a bunch of... So I've got a little mini course here called AI Building 101, which is AI tool ideas, like coming up with an idea of what you're going to build, launch preparation and launching. And I have in my catalog a bunch on vibe coding. Let me see. Get started with vibe coding your business and vibe coding. These are two mini courses. Each one's about 12,000 words. So they're totally free. So that's all on my website. If you go along to my website and you join up, you can either join the community or the newsletter, and you'll be given all of the resources and sent them automatically. That's all for free for you. But if you're looking for kind of a more structured way to get into it, then check out Marcin's school. I've lost it now. So it's Marcin, and if you put in Marcin and school or AI builders school, that's going to pop up for you. And school is spelled SKOOL, presumably because sch.com was gone. So they'd be the ones I recommend. I think Sabrina also has a so Sabrina Ramanov, I need to get that right, also has a building community. I think her community is female only. And I don't know no Walid, so I don't think that's relevant. No, mine is free. Did you ask, is yours a paid community? No, it is free. Or you have paid courses. I have some paid accelerators. I don't have any paid courses. So all the courses are free on here. Oops, daisy. Thank you, Adblock. That's very helpful. All the courses are free. There's a bunch here. So there's a 10-week course here. AI Building 101 is here. I do have paid accelerators. So they are where we work together for 30 days and you work with a community of people, and it's just a good way to actually get the work done. So those are paid because they take time, but the courses themselves are free. So that's all at aiwithkyle.com. In terms of learning vibe coding though, just start building. You'll learn very, very quickly by doing. It's a weird one because AI coding is changing so quickly that anything that you learn from a course 6 months ago will not necessarily be relevant now. The good news is all of the tools are getting better and better and better and better. So it's getting easier. So if there was something that wasn't covered from a course 6 months ago, it probably won't matter 6 months from now because the tools are getting so good. So really just come up with a project idea. This is why this particular one that I wrote, where is it? AI Building 101. It starts with, you need to work out what your idea is. Start with that. And then just kind of get started. And honestly, the basic process is once you've got an idea, you go to Claude or ChatGPT, not your vibe coding tool, but you go to an AI and you say, hey, this is what I want to build. This is my technical level. This is what I've done before. This is the tool I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using Lovable. I'm going to be using Cursor, whatever it is. I want it to be an app that lives on telephones, or I want it to be a web app, which is accessible via a web page. You tell it what your end goal is. How do I do this? And you literally just ask Claude or ChatGPT to help you put together a project plan based on your skills and your level. You can ask it to make it stepwise as well. So instead of it trying to build the whole thing in one shot, including like user logins, payment portals, dashboards, kind of analytics, etc. You don't want to do all of that in one go because it's going to be spaghetti. It's going to be an absolute mess. So instead you say, when you're building your project plan, I want to build the basics, make sure the functionality is working, and then we go step by step by step, adding on the feature set until we have the whole thing. And then you take that project plan, you take it over to your vibe coding tool and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to build. Assess this, give me some feedback, and then create the documentation, create the folder structure, and let's get started. And then you just work through the project bit by bit with your vibe coding tool. That's kind of the skinny on how you actually build stuff that is worthwhile. Apart from that, just start building, and you will learn how to use Cursor, or you'll learn the best way to work with Lovable by just doing it. And also, if you run into problems, I don't know, let's say you've got a compiling problem and your app's not coming together, all you need to do really is get the code, the error code, the debug code, the failed compile code, or whatever it is, take it back into your vibe coding tool and say, hey, this is what's going wrong. What do you think this is? How can we fix it? Give me some alternatives, etc. You work with the tool in order to get better at the task. Obviously, there are more sophisticated levels. You can learn to code. You can learn architecture. You can learn DevOps. Like, there's a lot more, but that all comes later. So just start building for now. Honestly, that is really my recommendation. And there are certain tools that give you free credits as well. So right now, Anti-Gravity is free. So Google Anti-Gravity, you can download. Let me check the pricing. I think it's still free. Yep. So individual plan is $0 a month, a plan for anyone who wants to build. And that gives you access to Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Sonnet 4.5, I guess. Oh, and Opus 4.5. Really? Damn. And GPT OSS, that is the open source model of ChatGPT. I didn't know it gave you Opus 4.5 access for free. That's very impressive. Opus 4.5 is an absolute beast. I gave it a big task yesterday while I was playing video games, and it worked on something for about 45 minutes, and I came back and it just nailed it. Like, Opus is really good. It's also very expensive. So the fact that they are giving it away in Anti-Gravity, it's pretty cool. So check out Anti-Gravity if you're looking for a free way in, play around, hit problems, and then work your way through them. And that's how you learn, basically. And if you need additional help, come into the community, my community, community.aiwithkyle.com, and ask. Say, hey, this is what's happening. What do people think this is? And I'm happy to jump in, and there'll be other people as well. Cool. Let's talk about, actually, let me check one more question, then we'll talk about GPT 5.2. No more questions. Awesome. Let's talk about ChatGPT. So, probably coming tomorrow, GPT 5.2, codenamed Garlic. It is the code red reaction to Google Gemini 3, which came out a couple of weeks ago and basically caught OpenAI with their pants down, because Gemini 3 is very, very good. And it's the first time OpenAI have really been challenged over the last couple of years, and people are actually downloading and using Gemini, which they were not doing before. A lot of that is Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro, which is fantastic. But whatever the reason, it has put OpenAI into a bit of a panic mode. They ordered a code red about a week and a half ago, and everyone was told to stop every other project and to focus on Garlic, which is GPT 5.2. So this is from Twitter. GPT 5.2 is set to release this week. Apparently, executives overruled employees who wanted to push the launch back so they would have more time to improve the model. So this, what's the source of this? Oh, I don't know what the source of this is. OpenAI is set to release a new model called 5.2 this week that executives hope will give a new momentum, particularly amongst coding and business customers. Okay, that's interesting, because they've already put out Codex Max, which is pretty good. They overruled some employees who asked to push back the model's release so the company could have more time to make it better, according to people familiar with the matter. So it's anecdotal. The company also plans to release another model in January with better images. I'm going to talk about this in a moment. Improved speed and a better personality. And to end the code red after that, Altman has said. An OpenAI spokeswoman has says there's no conflict between the two philosophies, and a broad adoption of AI tools and how the company plans to distribute AGI's benefit. Okay, that's fine. So a couple of things going on. The image model has apparently been cited. Now, whenever we see this kind of this klaxon alarm on a tweet, we need to be a bit cautious, because there's a lot of people who hype up nonsense, but this seems to be legit. This is a model which has been seen in Design Arena and LM Arena, and people think it's probably the new image gen model inside of OpenAI. So OpenAI's image generation has been a bit crap. They have DALL-E 3 and they haven't really updated it, and it's just been blown out of the water by Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro. The image generation in ChatGPT has this weird yellow tint, this piss filter people call it, which I covered this on another show, maybe came from overtraining from the Studio Ghibli images. So there were so many Studio Ghibli images out there that it tainted the image gen data, basically. So this is what people are seeing. What people have noticed in particular is its happiness, its willingness to do celebrities. I love this picture here, because this one, This is like a really jacked Paul Rudd, but to me, he looks somewhere between John Hamm and Paul Rudd, and I can see both of them. It's like one of those optical illusions when you kind of turn your eyes or something like that. So to me, that's a bit uncanny valley, and he's falling between Paul Rudd and John Hamm. So it's not perfect, but these people are recognizable. The Rock's looking a bit weird too, to be fair. Yeah, what's happened to the Rock's head? The Rock's he's got the the Andreessen forehead, but as you can see, the photo quality is better than the DALL-E 2 model. This is perfectly fine too. The resolution is not very high, but that could just be the upload. But what's got people excited is the fact they can do celebrities. Previously, OpenAI have been fairly cagey on this. They've always put up guardrails, they've put in ethical policies, and meant that you can't generate celebrities, you can't necessarily generate copywritten material. So Mickey Mouse, punching Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever was a no-no. This might point to some relaxations of that. That said, whenever they release something, Sora 2 was the most recent that I can think of, they tend to release with very few guardrails. That allows them to get the viral moment where everyone is creating images, creating videos, sharing them. That allows them to own the narrative and to be the biggest model and to be the most seen for a short amount of time. And then a week or two later, close the doors and stop allowing people to generate copywritten material. They might be doing something similar here. I would not be surprised. The other thing that is interesting is it seems like it can do text. So I'm not seeing any problems here. Nope, that looks good. Obviously, they're going to choose good photos. But this is one of the things that Nano Banana Pro can do really well, is it can generate text within an image. It basically solved that problem, which is fantastic because you can make infographics, etc. And it looks like this new OpenAI model potentially can do the same. And again, yep, I don't see any issues there. So this seems to be, and again, a copywritten icon and image here. No problem at all. So this has been circulating. Sorry. The top comment is, this is the worst effing picture ever generated by AI. Images still don't quite live up to Nano Banana Pro in my opinion. Yeah, I think that's fair. They have very plasticky faces. But it's much better than GPT Image 1. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a lot better than the others. Somebody here is saying no piss filter. As I was saying, the previous image generation had this very yellowy filter on everything, so you could tell with ChatGPT. They seem to have got rid of that. So it might be releasing with a new image model. I'm not sure if that's enough to beat Nano Banana Pro, because Nano Banana Pro is very, very, very good. However, ChatGPT has distribution. They have about 800 million users. That means a lot of people would not have bothered to download Gemini to get Nano Banana Pro. A lot of people have no idea what Nano Banana Pro is. They do use ChatGPT. So this might blow people out of the water who aren't keeping up to date with all the news releases. They might suddenly be like, oh my God, this is the best thing on earth. So ChatGPT might have a huge moment with this. Even if it's not better than Nano Banana Pro, because they have distribution in place, it might not matter. And finally, I'm just going to look at what Chubby is saying. So Chubby, or Kimonismus, I need to actually learn to say the name, is kind of not a leaker, but somebody who pulls together information and is genuinely very, very accurate on upcoming releases. So TLDR from the Wall Street Journal, 2 models are being released. Sora development and focus on AGI are paused for 8 weeks to quickly improve ChatGPT. So this is as a result of the red alert. I love it how we're pausing for 8 weeks as if that's a long time. Like, pausing AGI for 8 weeks is nothing. 8 weeks is a tiny amount of time, but because the timescales in artificial intelligence are so fast, this seems like a big deal. Whereas when we think of this on a more historical, more human, a more scientific scale, 8 weeks it's nothing. It's ridiculous. So they actually plan to release 2 models, one this week and one in January. The model in January is also supposed to have better images, improve personality, and to end the code red. Okay, so we'll get the image model in January, and the one we're getting tomorrow is something else. It's 5.2. So I wouldn't be surprised if the one we get in January is 5.5. That would make sense. We generally have a 0.1, a 0.2, and then we jump to 0.5. And then from 0.5, we jump to the next number. So we'll jump to 6. So based on this, I would guess we have 5.2 tomorrow. We have 5.5 in January, and then we have GPT-6 probably in summer of 2026. The company also plans to release another model in January with better images, improved speed, and a better personality. And to end the code red after that, Altman said. So this is from him directly. According to the Wall Street Journal, one of these models, GPT 5.2, is expected to arrive this week, tomorrow. OpenAI is set to release a new model called 5.2 this week that executives hope will give it new momentum, particularly among coding and business customers. Okay, so it sounds like the one tomorrow is an intelligence update. It's making it better at coding and business, whereas the one in January is going to be a more popular update with personality and image generation. Could be risky because people are still pissed off with them after 4.0 and what they did to 4.0 and the personality of ChatGPT, and 5.2 might be even more business focused, even more coding focused, which will upset the people who like 4.0. In order to withstand the headwind from Google, the development of Sora was paused for 8 weeks, as was the focus on AGI. Okay, so that's okay. There is an article, so I'll put the Wall Street Journal in the newsletter. I will remove the paywall for you as well, so that you can access it. Shh, don't tell them. And tomorrow we should be getting a new model, which exciting. It doesn't sound like it's going to blow our socks off, but we'll see. We will see. Just scrolling back through the questions. The picture of a burger. Crader says, I'm new here, what are you teaching? I'm just running through the AI news and updates of the day. Basically helping people keep up to date with what on earth is going on, because AI moves so fast. But at the same time, I'll do little tutorials. I'm actually about to do one right now on Google, what's it called? Google Stitch. So you're just in time to learn about Google Stitch if you want to know about it. So Google have released, they've had something called Stitch for a while. They are doing a shipmas of their own for Google Stitch. Now, Google's marketing is kind of all over the place because they have so many products and so many divisions, and they're all doing their own thing. For example, they have like 8 different vibe coding tools. They have in AI Studio, they have Anti-Gravity, they have Opal, they have Jules, they have, God, there's a bunch more. But they're all kind of off doing their own thing in very Google fashion. So Stitch, which is from Google Labs, and it's to focus on interface design using AI, they're running their own shipmas. So this is not a Google shipmas. This is just Stitch. Yeah, bizarre. So what they're doing is they have a new ship every day this week and a big launch on Wednesday today. So the one that I wanted to highlight is something called the Redesign agent. So you can, let's see how well it's done. What you can do, that's not very good. Did it crash immediately? What you can do with Stitch now is you can upload, or you can give it your previous websites, and you can say, hey, I want you to rework this. I want you to redesign. And it's a chat interface here. So you can see, I did this before coming on live because I knew it would be a bit slow. I gave it my webpage and it's like, cool, awesome. Went off and it did not read my webpage, but it pretended to, and then it made something completely generic and just made something up and said, here you go. So that I wasn't very impressed with that. So it failed. So that what I did was I screenshotted my whole front page here and said, here you go, you didn't actually do anything right last time, but let's try again. Gave it the benefit of the doubt. So let's have a look what it's done. All right, it has replaced me. So I don't know who that man is, but sure. It has replaced my headline, Building the Future with Intelligent AI. That's terrible. Hi, I'm Kyle. Yes. I help businesses leverage large language models and AI to drive innovation and growth. Nope. Um, how can I help? AI strategy consulting? Nope. Custom LLM development? Nope. AI systems integration? Nope. Okay. All right, so it's terrible. What's it done? All right. Oh, it's a shame. Um, so the promise of it is a redesign agent where you can give it a page, you can give it your app, you can give it your product, whatever it is, and it will be able to use Nano Banana to redesign and to help you. The promise of it is really cool. However, it what it's done is terrible, basically. So what it's done is updated. The existing homepage has been redesigned with a focus on a more modern and clean aesthetic. Basically, it's made it black and white. This includes simplifying visual elements, it got rid of them all, updating typography and color palette, fine, yeah, it's made it black and white, and improving the layout and spacing for better readability and a less cluttered feel while retaining the core content. It did not retain the core content, it deleted it all. This could be a context issue. Because it's quite a long page, my homepage, so maybe it only looked at the top. Even so, I'm not terribly impressed. Oh, that's a shame. I was going to play around with this, and I was hoping that this would be kind of a cool tool to show off, but no, it is a bit half-baked, unfortunately. This is, again, I'm sorry to the Stitch team. Maybe I mean, correct me and tell me I'm wrong and help me use it better, but Google put out an awful lot of product, a huge amount of product. As I said, they have maybe 5, 8, 10 vibe coding tools. They have this. They have a lot of things that they just kind of throw at the wall and see what sticks. The problem with that is most of them don't. So they actually have, somebody's put together this website, which is called Killed by Google, which I always love looking at. It has 300 projects that have been launched and killed off at Google. This is just how they operate. They will launch something, it will run for, I don't know, a certain amount of time, and then they'll be like, okay, it's done. So Google Optimize, I used to use this. It was great. It went from 2012 to 2023, so that lasted 11 years, and then they're like, kill it. Google Domains, that was fantastic. That lasted 9 years, and then they killed it. So unfortunately, it means, oh, what's it done? It means a lot of their products are a little bit half-baked. No offense, Stitch. That's all right. I do love you, Google, and I love the stuff you're doing. And Gemini's fantastic, and Nano Banana Pro is great. This, however, is not very good. Okay, it's added a call to action here. Ready to start a project? Let's connect and discuss how my AI expertise can benefit your business. Contact me for a project. Not good. Okay. So I was going to say check out Stitch by Google and see if it can help you redesign your web page or your app. I wouldn't bother. One thing they have done though, which is cool, if the generation was better, is you can redesign and then you can pull the code from the redesign. So that's the new thing that they've launched. So you give it a screenshot of your web page, it will redesign it, and then you can pull the code out of the redesign and take the code over to your vibe coding tool or whatever it is to work from. So that's cool. It just needs a better design process. Give it a shot, and if anyone can get a better result from it, please tell me, because I'm not very impressed. That's clean. How fast did it take to make that site? So this site is mine, which is all vibe coded, and it's a mess because I'm not a good designer. I have no idea what I'm doing. What this just did, this took 30 seconds. It didn't take very long. So it's using Nano Banana to generate the image. And then, here we go, generate. So I can do predictive heat map. Makes no sense, but I can theoretically, here we go, export. So I can get the code. There we go. So that's really cool that it can generate an image and the code for me to bring over to my vibe coding tool to borrow that. So the promise of this is amazing. The design itself is crap, which is kind of a vital part, unfortunately. Awesome. Right. make sure you are subscribed to the newsletter. The newsletter comes out every single day, and it's going to be a summary of what's been covered in the live. So this is one from this morning, for example. It has the YouTube video. It has the specific resources and the tweets. Whenever I talk about something like a paper or link to an article, I'll always add that directly into the newsletter. So this week, tomorrow, I'll add in the McDonald's video so you can see it yourself. I'll add in the Wall Street Journal article, but I will remove the paywall so that you can actually read it without having to pay the Wall Street Journal. Sorry, Wall Street Journal. Sorry, not sorry. And if there's ever kind of a study or anything like that, I'll make sure to include it in the newsletter. So that's free to join up to. At the same time, you can also join the community. So this is a free community where I do this live. This live is currently in the community. Plus, we discuss what's going on in the world of AI, and you can ask questions and find other people who are working on cool things. That is free, and you can join that at the same time as the newsletter. And also on the website are a bunch of courses. Again, this is all free. I'm just giving this away. There's a 10-week AI summer camp. This is to help you kind of work out. Oh, the camera just went off. Well, I think you can hear me, but that's probably going to be the end of the live then. Let's see if I can get it back on. So this is a 10-week course. Oh, there we go. This is a 10-week course which helps you work out what business you should start with artificial intelligence, and then build in public, vibe coding, building what people want, marketing, etc., like going through the process of doing that. And this is a chunky course. I want to say this is 100,000 words or so. So these are not just like little light, it's not just a PDF. These are full courses for you. This one's 123 lessons, several modules, a couple of hours of video, etc., all for free. So it's all on the website. Just head over to AI with Kyle, and you can sign up using your email address, and I will see you in there as well. At the same time, if you want, head over to YouTube. We've just crossed 10,000 subscribers, which is awesome. And what happens on YouTube is all of these lives I'm doing every single day are edited, chopped up, and made easier to get access to. So if you're looking for a specific piece of news, a specific coverage, then you'll be able to find it on the YouTube channel. Fantastic. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Make sure you are in the newsletter and you've joined the community as well, because there's a lot of free stuff there. We're just we're trying to help 1 million people get AI ready for the future, because there is a tidal wave coming and people are starting to realize that. So we want to make sure that everybody is ready for it. Fantastic, everybody. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow morning about the same time, 11 a.m. UK time. Cheers.